This is a conversation with Rad coming to you from another location. We're kind of in studio today with two of the inaugural guests that started the show. Brother Ook,
What's going on, Rad?
and Brother X, Trevor.
What's happening?
So thank you guys for making it here. We're kind of doing some testing right now, right? We have something big coming up in in October.
Yes.
In October.
Yes.
And I'm certainly looking forward to it.
But you can say what it is, right?
I was going to say, who wants to say, what it is that we're going to be looking at in October. I know it's, it kind of started when our brother Tennyson said he wanted to do some stuff. So
Yes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna respectfully defer to my brother X over here, Trevor Dane.
Okay, no problem. So what we're doing in October is we're going to a college reunion. I went last year and it was exciting. It was a lot of fun. I think they called it the return. I'm not sure what they're going to be calling this. So I got to see people that I haven't seen in a long time. That I haven't seen over about, I would say, 30, 40 years to be exact. So it was good, reconnected and the fun that was had and everything. So now we're trying to plan it, bigger with more brothers that were there that we pretty much hung out with and so on to go back and October is this year's reunion.
yeah, I'm certainly looking forward to it. Being there, seeing all the brothers. I know some of the brothers are distance away. We have, Frank in Florida, Mr. Mango Tree.
His ticket is booked already, so he just needs a room.
So he may have to sleep in the Amtrak station for a little bit or something like that. Still
Student union is better.
Yeah, that's true. I heard it's upgraded, huh?
Oh yeah, big time.
And Pedro is coming in as well. Where's he coming in from?
Oh.
From Oregon.
Oregon, where it's always raining. Portland, Oregon. And you know what? It's kind of a coincidence because my sister-in-law is in Oregon. Yeah, she's been there for about 7 years, I want to say. She's been in Oregon. And in the conversations we have on Saturdays, I always forget to ask Rad, like, oh, so-and-so, because she's in Eugene. And, and she's always trying to get, me and her sister to come there. I'm like, man, it's always raining there.
Never visited?
Never. I heard the water is good, the air is good, but we haven't been there yet. But that's on our list to get there. But yeah, just a coincidence that it seems like the world is a small place. Right? I mean, our brother Pedro is in Oregon, sister-in-law is in Oregon.
Yeah. Oregon of all places.
Of all places.
It's not like it's Baltimore. Be like, okay.
Facts.
So we're talking about across the country.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the rest of us are local, right?
Pretty much, basically, yeah. There's a few in Buffalo, small few.
Yeah.
But yes, the rest of us are
Pretty
local.
much. Virginia, right?
Yeah, Virginia,
Virginia also.
North
And
Carolina. Yeah.
So pretty much East Coast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Except for Pedro.
Except for Pedro. Wow, that's right.
Listen, stop talking about it so much. You may want to move back. So.
True.
So it rains a lot there, they were saying?
Yes, rain is always rainy and cloudy there. I'm like, what's going on? But I hear a lot of people, they take a lot of trips and like getaways to get there because again, the water is supposed to be so good. And
Really?
The air is supposed to be high quality air. I'm like, yeah, really? So that's why when I hear people talk about it, that's what I hear about the water and the air and the rain, of course. But I'm like, okay. But
Sounds like you want to make a trip there.
I do kind of. They have these excursions where they call them. I think it's ayahuasca where you go in. And
Oh yeah, that's the Brazilian.
Yeah, you do your thing there, and it's done. It's done pretty heavily in Oregon again because they have the certain atmosphere to do it. So I'm like, wow, and I always thought about that. We had a discussion on during our last Saturday get together, and I mentioned when the guys took the plunge out of a plane. I'm like, man, I want to go skydiving. That's on my bucket list.
You out of your mind.
You know, that's what Gene said.
I'm staying on the ground.
But again, it just shows you how we connect, because I never thought anybody would want to do that.
Oh, yeah.
And I heard their stories.
And it's like two brothers.
Two brothers.
Oh, yeah.
I said, what? Get out of here.
Actually did that.
That blew my mind. Like, wow, okay. I thought I was the only one that, want to skydive.
And it's two of the military brothers.
That's true.
Speaking of military.
Yeah.
Two of the military brothers.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I do know them.
One was my roommate. I'm military adjacent.
That's right. Both in the Marines? Are they both in the Marines? Or
Yeah,
I
Marines.
think both
Frank,
Marines.
Marine. Actually, it's three. So both of them Marines jumped out of the plane. Pedro was just was the military. Let me not say just, because he's gonna kill me.
Right.
Pedro was a military, a medic. So
Well, it's military across the board, right? So
yes.
what branch was he?
Army. He was in the army. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I mean,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Did you say you would try it? And your wife said what?
She said exactly what she said.
You must be out of your
Must be like
Facts.
And I just, I mean, it's certain things.
is the policy paid up?
Yeah, right. That's why,
Man.
it's just something you know what I mean? It's a good, for me, it's a, you get over your, I guess, certain fears you want to get over. Like I don't have a fear of flying or heights or anything, but that's just something like, wow, how many people, that's what I thought previous to our brothers, how many people you go up to and say, yo, I went skydiving the other day. You know what I mean? Like, especially brothers.
Yeah.
So, it's just something I thought about. I'm like, you know what? That's something that I do. I am going to do.
Have you bungee? Have you bungee jumped?
So I was gonna say, Trev, that's the closest I came.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I didn't do it.
Okay.
So here's my bungee story. I went in the summer program, right? We went to Niagara Falls, and they had those cranes or whatever, right?
Okay.
And they were charging, again, this was back in '89. They were charging like $20. I'm like, I don't have $20.
Right, $20?
Yo. I'm like, I don't have $20.
Weekend apart.
Facts. How many 40s for $20?
You can stack your fridge.
Depending on
So
had I had that $20, I would be talking about, I didn't go in the plane, but I did bungee, but that 20 didn't materialize. So
I did when I was in high school. I did the free fall at so long ago now.
Right.
But
from Wingate.
Yeah, but what's the name of that place? In the summer that people go to.
Yes, I know.
Great Adventures.
Great Adventures.
Yeah, actually, they had a free fall there. Where it goes up like I want to say like 15 stories, and then but you're strapped into something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it just falls.
Oh shoot.
And I mean that was too much for me. When I was up there, I was like, what am I doing? And I'm young and fearless like that. You know what I mean? So imagine now, I'll be like, oh no, I'll pass on that. It's a roller coaster.
Come on. Listen, you mentioned that. So we're supposed to go to Dorney Park.
Yeah.
2 weeks. My oldest son is 21. He wants to go there. That's what we should do. When the restaurant closes, we pick a couple of days, stay up there overnight.
Yeah.
And we go. And he chose Dorney Park. And I'm like, to your point, you mentioned the drop. So it's something called the demon drop.
Yeah.
You're about 15, 20 stories. And this thing just drops to the bottom.
Falls. Yeah.
Yo.
So for me, the craziest one I've been in, and I guess actually, this was this is in studio, so I can say, this was when I was probably about 51. This is in studio. On the other stuff, I'm 40.
I got you.
Yeah, it doesn't count.
This one doesn't count.
It doesn't count.
This one doesn't count when you're in studio.
Gotcha. Okay.
You can't see me behind the camera when you're. So those water slide thing that you see and people get in them and you see like a glass thing and you're standing in there and the bottom just falls out, right? So they had 3 of them, right? This was in Florida, Volcano Bay or something like that. And I'm walking up the steps to get to the place and I accidentally went in the wrong step. I was like, yo, can I get out and go the other one? She's like, no, you're already here. You got to go. So I'm like, I can't punk out now. My son is here. And you are literally probably about, either 10 or whatever stories up there, right? And you have some of them that comes down and slope like this. The one that we chose, the red one, down like this. 4 seconds to the bottom. Yo, they're like, don't stop your breath. I'm like, I can't help it. Right. My breath just stopped. At 4 seconds at the bottom, I was like, yo, never happen again.
and it hits different when you're older.
Yes.
It's like, because it's like I remember, for example, a summer program. We went to, help me out. There's a park. It's like, I think it's like
That's
close
Crystal
to
Beach,
Rochester.
Fantasy Island.
No, it's I know what you're talking about.
Darien Lake.
Darien Lake. Yes, Darien Lake.
Went to Darien Lake, and back then it was like you wouldn't ride all them rides. It was fun then. But then after a while, for some reason, it's like I don't know if it's the brain or whatever, but it hits different. You feel it different. So it's like I'm good. I'm done. I rode enough of them things. I'll be in a bumper car. Arden plays with the kids like.
Get me in the horsey, the merry-go-round.
Exactly. Act like I'm on the track with it.
Oh man, that's funny.
But as you get older, though, things you see things in a different light.
Oh yeah.
Some of the chances that you may have taken back then is like, you know what, I'm not doing this. You can say whatever you want to say. I'm not doing it.
That's true.
So
that fearlessness is not there as it used to be. And one of the things like I always always revert back to like my childhood, right? Mm-hmm. And like I have marks on my body, like where my mother might say, "Don't go there," or my grandmother might say, "Don't go there." It's like telling me to go there.
Yes.
I want to fight. And you go there.
Facts.
And then you come back crying or something because, or you might have to hide whatever type of boo boo you got because you're gonna get another.
Facts.
But so it's just simple little things. It's like, you know what? Nah, that's okay. I'll stay right here. So I'm not jumping out of any planes. I'm not bungee jumping. I'm not free falling. I barely want to jump off a diving board. And I can swim.
That is true, man. Just speaking about age, man. And I look at my sons and I'm like, and I intentionally try not to tell them not to do something, but you do it out of love and you know what I mean. The fear what you had of what could happen. You know what I mean? Like, wait a minute. I remember I was 18 and I was doing all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean?
Exactly. and that's very important to do. And that, and parents out there who are trying to figure out their kids. Always try to, think about yourself at their age.
Yes.
Because I think lots of times, because, when you were growing up, you look at your parents as almost a square. Maybe you didn't, but, my parents were squares as far as, and so, I admired my older brothers and so on. I looked up to them. I'm like, they're cool. So the thing is, at a certain age, your perspective on things is just so different that as a parent you have to think back and say, okay, what would I have done at that particular age? And there's a serious topic that's going on right now, a serious situation I should say, in right here in New York with the MTA and the kids that are subway surfing.
Oh yes,
I got something for that.
And and I was watching the news and I think. They caught like 3 kids last night and, trying to surf. And I'm like, I think a kid died last week.
Yes, he
did. If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, correct.
So it's fresh in the news. And,
correct.
There was like 2 12-year-olds and 1 16.
Yes.
And it's like, how do you get, and that's not something you can play with. Imagine that being one of your kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How would you handle that? Like, how would you, deal with that situation? The important thing is to make sure that he or she would never do that.
You have to understand.
You understand?
Right.
But at the same time, lots of times out of fear, especially in our community, parents will go off and
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
and that just makes it kind of like worse type of thing,
That's true.
And, I'm gonna say this.
That's a good point.
I also don't believe in the physical punish, hitting kids and those type of things either. So,
100%.
my approach is, making sure, like one of the great things like that I got from my father was that my father talked,
Very.
and so explaining to someone why you shouldn't be doing something is more important to me because they hear it as opposed to saying don't do that.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't know, I just think spanking confuses kids. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a point when that parent who's now spanking that kid would do anything to make that kid stop crying.
That's
That
right.
kid is crying. Now you're making that kid cry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And lots of times in the community, they do these things, but they don't explain to the kids.
Yes.
I'm not saying you can't spank your kid.
Yeah.
I would never tell a parent
Right.
what to do.
Right.
As long as you're not abusing them.
Facts.
But when it comes to making sure that they understand why you did what you did,
Right.
it's very important.
Yeah. No, that is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Excellent.
And I'm glad you brought up
Points.
that point too, because it hit close to home because the wife is and I'm not going to say location, she's a principal, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one of her kids did the surfing
That's interesting.
and is dead.
Oh wow.
So it hit close to home.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
Basically brain dead, right? And so she had to deal with those type of things.
Yes.
So basically that comes home as well.
Yes.
Right. So seeing those type of things, it's almost like saying firsthand you're dealing with it because again, she's very close to her kids and the kids are basically babies.
Right.
So those type of things happen and you're like, okay, why would people, do this thing? But if you look at it, all the deers that are happening out there, they're doing these challenges and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You think it's crazy.
Yeah.
But something in their brain, something in their mind telling them,
You
hey,
can do it.
this is cool or this is, and I'm not going to blame, I'm not throwing blames here anywhere, right?
Yes.
Because I was going to say, they see certain things on social media, whatever the case is, we did it differently back in our days, right? It was a person to person. We took chances, but it was a person to person thing.
Yeah.
Somebody I know jump off of a roof with an umbrella. I thought he was Superman.
Well, in defense of that man, cartoons were to blame. And at that age,
That's our social media.
That was our social media.
Cartoon was our social media. We did all types of stuff. So yeah.
But those were our, things that we did that, compared to now, people looking at it back then thinking it was just as bad as this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right?
true.
So social media just brought it closer to you, right? Back then, you had to go somewhere to see something like that happen. And if it wasn't happening where you are, now you can pick up your phone or whatever and see it anywhere.
Yeah.
True.
So,
Very good.
things happen. They happen in different times. But I think, as you said, Trev, talk to your kids.
Oh, yeah.
It's talking to them, not spanking them, let me take that back. Not spanking them without saying why you're doing it or explaining to them and stuff like that.
Because that's basically bullying.
Yes.
If you're not explaining
Yes.
to them.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give you an instant, right? So, my son came home, but he came home, went to his aunt, went to a party, right? And went to that party and with his cousins, right? And they're riding their scooter.
Yes.
And so he threw, he's wearing his clogs, his whatever you call those things now, Crocs, and he threw his Crocs at his cousin, and his cousin twisted the bike and fell off and broke his arm. All the grown-ups are like, "Don't tell your father," right? He's supposed to leave back the Monday, so they're going to tell me after he leave. I'm like, yo, I'm serious. That's the most rage I've been in that I can remember.
Right.
I'm like, wait a minute. So if something had happened, more serious than that, right? You're telling me that you're not going to tell me that my son did something, or even better yet, I went to him and I said, listen, this happened, and you don't come and tell me. What are you thinking about?
Yes.
So and end of it, because I'm explaining to him why I think it's important, because if the cop had showed up at my house and say this happened, I would say, no, my son is in Albany, right? My son is in Albany. That couldn't be him. I don't need that to happen. I need you to tell me so I can say, okay, I understand, and then I'll deal with the consequences and stuff like that.
Exactly.
So yeah, that conversation needs to be had, with more parents, having that honest conversation, saying, this is why I'm asking you not to do this, or this is why I'm telling you not to do this, however you want to put it.
Well, they've been doing these PSAs, these local SARS, and these local influencers, I guess, that kids are into. These BMX riders, and so they've been having some. They're trying, I guess, to do some things, and I'm sure the schools are also doing things along the lines of that. But yeah, there's always going to be somebody's always going to take the chance to do something that you're not supposed to do.
Unfortunately, I agree. Yeah, I'm gonna plug something. I'm gonna share this for the first time outside my household. So, I wrote this. I don't want to call it a book. About 5 years ago. So I've been writing it, tinkering with it. And it was kind of like a letter to my sons, right?
Yeah.
So then I put it into I call it like a coffee table read. So I have it and it's sitting. I have it and I've cover and everything. And I gave it to my son, both my sons to read, get feedback. So just last week, my youngest son, he's talking to me, and I said, "So give me some feedback." So we sitting down and we're talking about the book, and he's like, he said, "It's good, He's pointing out, just like his mom, there's a grammatical error. Ask your mother. Ask your mother. Okay, I get that. All right, I know.
The editor in chief.
Yeah, right, exactly. I said, okay, I get it. Okay, I said, thank you for that. But I want to know how you feel about certain things that I brought up. And to your point, when you brought up disciplining your child, man, and we went over the story. I said, remember that time you took that gum out of the supermarket and we were driving in the car and me and my wife looked at each other like, did you buy that for him? And he was like, no. And as a parent, first thing was popped in my head was, oh, he stole some gum.
Yeah.
Man, how are we going to deal with this? Man, so I'm like, man, how are we going to deal with this? So we get home and, being disciplined as a kid by my mom, we talking like, she said, well, are you gonna give him a whipping? I'm like, oh man, I gotta give him a whipping. Like, okay. So I get my belt, man. Man, I think I hit him one time with the belt. Not hard. I hit him one time. I was like, I can't do this. Like, what am I doing? Like, nah, sometimes I said, listen, nah, we not doing that. Yeah. You know what I mean? And he was 5 or 6, you know what I mean? I'm like, well, now I started just like you said, you have to, as a parent, you have to intentionally think about things. You know what I mean? Like, why was it like, you stole it? Why wasn't it was at the front of the counter? So he's like, oh, it's at the front.
Yeah.
I just pick it up, walk out with it. I'm not understanding. I got to pay for it. Exactly. So that's what I had, processing that. I'm like, man, I ain't whipping my kids. And the oldest one, I never put our hands on. Like, I'm not whipping him. Like, conversation, just like you said. Yeah, we did was just talk. And that's been our motto.
Yeah.
You talk to your kids. Because I wanted to get talked to, because again, I reflected on my mom being a single parent. Man, I used to get the belt, the switch, the hand.
So let me ask you a question about the switch. Sorry. Did you have to go pick your own switch?
It's in the book. Yes. And I even mentioned that. I'm like, man, that's some kind of psychological for you to go get something.
Yeah.
And I don't know where I learned this or where I heard this or read this, but that they're saying good parenting, a part of good parenting also too is not to discipline your kids out of anger.
Yeah.
And lots of times if you're in the middle of, you're angry, you want to let him know or her know that, that's not the time.
Facts.
Because you yourself is not processing what you need to say.
Yeah.
Or the right, exactly the right way. And your anger alone is scaring your child.
Yeah.
And you have some parents who parent by fear.
Yeah.
Right.
And
right.
It only works for a certain amount of time before the kids, because that's what you're basically teaching them to,
Yeah.
If as long as I'm more powerful than you, and the kid might be sitting back just waiting to be able to take you on, and then fend off. So they
Absolutely.
that's you teach. You're teaching them regardless of what it is that they're doing, and they need the teaching.
Yes.
And there's a reason why it takes a man and a woman to make them. It takes a man and a woman to raise them also. Because there's certain things that you can learn from your father.
Yes.
That you can't learn from your mother.
Yeah.
And not to say that a single mother can't do it. Like my father died early, and my mother was able to pick it up. But one of the good thing in my growing up in my childhood was the male role models, the uncles, and you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
So you had a cool uncle, like I have an uncle that passed in Toronto. Uncle Savvy, rest in peace. He was the cool uncle. You understand what I'm saying? And my uncle Jimmy, he's the pain in the.
Absolutely.
I don't know if he's gonna see this. You could edit that part out.
I'm sure it won't mind.
But you know what I mean. But those are examples. Even if I didn't say my father wasn't there, I still have examples of men or man, or manhood as far as what how men are supposed to be.
There's a present there.
The presence, yes. Yeah. And so, unfortunately, you have boys that are growing up in households where they know the only men they do see are the men that are coming and going.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And not to say that they might not run into somebody who they can learn some things from, but that presence is needed, just like the presence of the mom is needed.
Oh man.
So
100%.
And I want to stick with the kids, and I'm going to come to you for a minute, just just to touch on it a little bit, right? We're talking about kids and stuff like that, and I know you were doing a session at one point, and you may do it seasonal and stuff like that, where you kind of teach them financial education. You have these seminars that you do, and it's for kids that I think probably 18 or 16, something like that.
Yeah, 13 to 18. Oh,
so
Even better.
yes.
yeah, so why that age, and why did you think you needed to reach them at that point?
I don't know what time is it. Man, this is something I'm passionate about this, man, and I used to maybe about 7-8 years ago. I was in a barbershop, and I came across some articles or something, and I was always saying, we had these conversations in a barbershop, and I was saying, man, they never taught us about finance in school. Why don't they do this? Why don't, and I'm like, okay, why am I asking why? You got to do something about it. You know what I mean? Now, I wasn't, where I am today as being financially literate, but, it was a journey that I was on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, if I would have knew this, I'd have been off the hook. It was a whole different ball game,
Yeah.
But then I started seeing it's not even taught in schools. Like, why not? There's a reason. There's a reason why they don't teach us financial education. You know what I mean? Because they have their own agenda on us.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wait a minute, now I bump this. I started with my sons at first, and let me back up a little bit. Working at Modell's, I remember this young kid. His girlfriend was having a baby.
Yeah.
And I said, look, whatever you do right now, you need to open up a savings and a checking account for your son or daughter.
Yeah.
Right? And this was maybe 20 years ago. I told him that. So you need to open up and save, And he said, why is that? I said, it's important, man, that we start young with our kids. And that was even before I went on this journey or this trek of actually getting kids together.
Yeah.
And that always stuck with me. So again, fast forwarding to my sons, I said, I'll bump this. I'm going to teach them. The pandemic happened, so they couldn't go.
There's nowhere for them to go.
That's right. So you go nowhere, so this is it. So, I took the opportunity. Bam. We used to have these. It was both my sons, their cousin, and a very close friend of ours. Got them together. It was Zoom every Saturday. We get on and just start talking about finances. What I know, this is what you should. This is, you guys are young. And of course they couldn't open up accounts because they're young.
Yeah.
So to your point about parents, it was on the parents. Now that's a whole different thing now, because the parents are in there, they already they might not. First of all, they don't have a lot of time. They out working, and so it's kind of hard for them. Tell them to open up a custodial account for their son or daughter.
Yeah.
But I said, listen, it's important. I said, they learn everything else at a young age. They know everything, you know what I mean? They know everything. They rap songs, they know they can tell you the favorite baseball, basketball, football player. They know everything like this. I said, get them while they're young. They like sponges. You know, they soak up everything, you know. So I was talking to them, and I was just like, wow, seeing their feedback. And then it was like a book. I would start buying these books, and it expanded to like a little mini book club now.
Yeah.
Now we got financial books. So I was like, all right, so we go through a chapter or two every session we had. So I'm like, oh man. And it was beautiful again, because that 5-year window with COVID and everything, 4-year window with COVID and going on, they didn't have anything really pulling them in a different direction.
Yeah,
you know, and they were at a certain age where what you say goes, because they're not at an age where listen to that, you know. Right now, I try to get my sons together and talk finance. They're like, Dad, you told us this, so we know we got to do. I'm like, listen, I know, but I'm going to keep telling you. I just want to make sure, you know. So I think, again, just to bring it all together, the younger they are, the more time that they have to invest.
Yeah.
The sooner they can do what they want to do when they're 25, 30 years old. I can't imagine being 30 years old, having stocks and, you know, all these other things, and being able to control my life and doing everything and doing things that I want to do.
Yeah.
You know, so I just wanted, and I just talked to them, and I just wanted to let them know that there's other ways of doing things. You don't have to be up 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning, hit the pavement, or work with somebody else. There's another way you can do it.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just something that I'm passionate about. You know, even with the kids that I had this summer, I had to make some adjustments, because, you know, when I launched at a certain time where they were going through exams. One of the kids is graduating. He graduated in June. He's going to UB.
Nice.
He's going to UB. And, you know, the other kid, actually, he was my cousin, my young cousin. He's going into high school. He's going to Hutch Tech in Buffalo.
Okay.
So another kid is like not too far from in Queens. And I'm like, where are you? He said, I'm in Queens. I'm like, what? Because I sent out some flyers, some feelers and everything. So that's how he got connected. And some other kids that are around in the area. But, you know, it was kind of sporadic. They weren't on, you can't make them, you know what I mean? So that was a tough thing for me. Like, man, I'm sending out the emails, hey, you coming on today?
Yeah.
You know, again, it's that parent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was kind of tough. So we took a hiatus. I'm like, okay, let's just take a break. You know, summertime, family stuff. I know what's going on. So I'm gonna relaunch it in September.
Yeah.
You know, I figure there'll be a little more structure for what they're doing, and you know, it might not be like a chore or task. Like, oh man, it's summertime. I got to be sitting here for an hour to do. I want to do that. So hopefully they won't see it as a chore. And I don't make the sessions like that. I try to make it and keep them involved, and having like guests come on and entrepreneurs and businesses and one thing and this is something I think is very important. This is what I did with my sons. I took them around the neighborhood to black businesses, black owners, and let them had them conversate with the owners, and oh my God, that was amazing. My sons took and how the owners were like, what's going on with this? I'm like, to me, it was like, it's something that should be done. I'm like, listen, you guys like this? They got
expose them to it.
That's very interesting, and that's good. I hope it keeps going and actually grows. And it sort of brings me back to. It reminded me of something that I totally forgot about. But in Jamaica in primary school, they taught us banking. Like they actually. I vaguely remember, but I do remember us having to open these bank accounts.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But there's this. I'm gonna send you the episode, but there's this YouTube couple that I watch called Fatherhood, and they the guy retired, a white guy retired, and moved to Jamaica with his wife, his Jamaican wife. But he stayed, like they adopted 3 kids, and they're like teaching other kids in the neighborhood or something. But so the other day he was going through. The fact that they're going to start saving. Like, they're already saving, but they're going to start saving for when they turn, 18.
Yeah.
You're going to have this amount. So he was explaining to them that the older one is not going to have as much as, say, the one that's that's 6.
Yeah.
Because, unless he puts double what or triple time what they're putting, but but he's trying to show them that you putting like 10 US, 5 US into this. Every time you get every time you get to your allowance or you get some money or whatever, you just put this amount, and by the time you turn 18, you'll have this.
How much? Will that be?
Compound
after
interest,
years.
Compound interest is very important. Like you said, the younger you start.
Yeah.
I'm going to send you that episode.
Yes.
Because I think what he's doing with those kids is so amazing.
It is.
Yeah.
But sorry. What I think is important about what you're talking about and what you're doing, right? You start early with them. It's enough time for them to make a little mistake and see it.
Correct.
Early, right? Because when you're into adulthood and trying to learn that, it becomes more difficult. Because again, you miss certain things. Uncle Sam is coming after you, right? When you're 12, 13, 14. You didn't put a $5 in your allowance bin to save. Right. That's a little mistake. You see your brother have 20 now, you have 10, and you realize, okay, maybe I need to up my game.
Yeah.
So it gives you some time, when you're teaching them that young. So I'm glad you kind of picked it up at that age, to kind of start teaching them the value of finance.
And it sort of makes you think back. For example, you hear people say, "Oh, I never learned about Malcolm X in high school." They didn't. Like those are the type of things. Like there should be a class, for example, on credit.
Yes.
In high school, and also in college during the summer program. I don't. For the life of me, I never understood why there was not a part. There was not a either some
piece of the syllabus that had
something because remember. Your freshman year, come September, they throw credit card.
Yes.
Credit
card.
Yes. So that's the start. And so imagine being in the summer. There in the summer, they're saying, "Okay, this is going to happen." And if you do this is they don't allow them on campus anymore, right?
No.
Oh, for real?
No,
really?
They don't allow those. No, because
so there must be a problem why they don't do it.
Because they were ruining a lot of kids.
Yeah.
And people were just like, "Oh, a T-shirt plus a credit card."
All you need is a
Walkman plus a credit card.
What?
Next thing you know,
true.
You as a poor college student,
yes,
you're buying all these things, and you're impressionable at that time. You're buying shoes or sneakers or clothes or a new TV.
Yes,
Big backs, by the way. And a VCR. Step it up.
Step it up.
Yeah,
let me tell you this, man.
Yeah, they should have warned us about those things.
See, and I think there's a reason, and I never forget this. Walking into Newman, and it was these kids.
That's Newman Hall, people.
Yes, Newman Hall, upstate.
They may rename it. Is it renamed yet?
Is it?
It's still Newman.
I'm not sure. Yeah,
but they've been renaming everything, so
yeah.
Porter's no longer there, so don't mention Porter anymore.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, but there's a reason behind that.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's
because Porter it was named after a former slave owner.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Which is they pulled their funding, right? which is interesting, that in upstate New York, you'd have I think it's the biggest dorm on the campus, right? I think it might have been the biggest dorm.
Porter, yes, Porter is the biggest dorm, yes. Single dorm.
Biggest single dorm by itself.
Yeah.
To be named after somebody.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's some symbol behind it too. Being the biggest one has that name, all of that stuff.
And a lot of us used to live in there.
Oh, that was
I never lived in there, but I used to visit there a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me touch before we leave this. To your point about credit.
Yes.
I remember, again, in Newman, and it was a bunch of kids. And I'm going to say it was a bunch of white kids together, right? And, of course, for some reason, when you go somewhere, if you've been there your first time, I don't care if you're traveling somewhere, some country, you always tend to look for your people. Right?
Yeah, yes.
Like, okay, where's somebody to see me? So I'm looking around like, man, I don't see anybody. So I'm sitting there, and they were talking about their bank accounts. And I'm sitting there like, what is that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, okay. That right there shook me. That was like, oh, man, this is something different here. Okay. And to your point, going into the student union, credit card.
Yeah.
Yes.
American Express, son. I didn't have a job. I got a credit card, son.
But
American Express.
And they gave you one. How?
gave me
How is that
American
possible?
Express.
It's a plot.
Yes.
You know, and so, you know, but thank God they, like I said, it's not allowed on on campuses anymore, but they can hang out outside. They can do it outside the campus premises.
So check this out.
You know,
My sons, they get about 5 to 6 credit card applications probably a week. They come in the mail. You know, I just because they know high school. You know, they get as soon as they some list, somebody gets the list.
Yeah.
They know 18. Oh shoot,
You're legal.
you're legal.
Yep.
And I'm like, they don't need this. What? They don't need this stuff.
Yeah, that is crazy.
I'm like, no. But they get, like you said, they can't be on campus, but now they know that like a mailing list or something like, okay, they get maybe from.
I'm sure they're sending emails also.
Yeah.
You know, because that's the quickest way.
That's the quickest way. Yeah.
So they're like sharks looking for bait around the campus,
Yes.
just swimming around.
Yes. And if your kids don't know any better, man, sign up on that thing, man.
Yeah.
Get that credit card.
Yeah, you really have to teach them. And again, I go back to it's a good thing that you're doing this early, because it teaches them something. It teaches them, hey, this is how you balance things. These are the things you don't need. You think you need it. There's a want and a need, and you have to understand the difference.
Facts.
So
And I always preface it when I say the financial. When I'm talking, even when I'm talking to a parent, so listen, it's not financial advice. It's a financial exposure. To them be exposed to
they
have an option. At least they know now.
They know, right? And they can't use that like we used it. I know about that. You know what I mean? Because even some of the parents I talk back, they're like, I didn't know about that. I'm like, yeah. Or I wasn't told that. I'm like, it's just something that, man, I think is very important, man. I see a lot of podcasts come on and they talk, they talk about maybe not the age range, but they talk, more of 21 and something because they have more of access to actually doing it without having their parents involved. So I just think it's important that again, young kids know these things, man, about money, man. They get money and they can just do what they want with it. Why not invest into your point above state? I got a stipend. I never forget my stipend I got. Matter of fact, it might have been your frat party. You know what I mean? I went and bought
You were flying at the frat party. You must have bought some new clothes.
Yo, son, I bought some $600 snake alligator loafers.
Man,
You bet on Tito for some $300 shoes.
Yo, son,
back in the day.
$600.
Yo, Tito.
Wow.
This is Uki saying this.
So, listen, man, I had that. I went right on Chippewa Street, right Buffalo, downtown Chippewa, right in that spot. I'll never forget walking in there, man. Got them shoes. It was a party. It was a frat party.
That's what I want.
Yo, I had that check. Now, if I took that $600 back in 1989, 1990, that's $600.
Apple stock.
Bought some trap. And I always keep that in the back of my mind. Man. Oh, man. God, but I didn't know. I think,
what's that comedian? Aries Spears. I'm not sure. I'm not saying his name.
I think I knew something about it.
From New York.
Yeah. Aries Spears.
He used to be on Mad TV.
Yeah.
You were saying how there's this guy DJ Vlad. And he goes on the show, so he says people come in. You go on DJ Vlad's show and blah blah blah. He's a culture vulture, blah blah blah. Because DJ Vlad, I think, is Russian. Yeah. So he says, okay. It's either I go on DJ Vlad or I'm sit in my house and watch TV. Just do whatever. He said, if I come here and I get $5,000 from DJ Vlad for being here, that $5,000 I buy stocks with it.
Yeah.
He's like, and he's like very animated. He's like, man, he can act right. But I love what he said. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, instead of just sitting at home, I come here and I do this. And this is extra money that I can.
It's monetizing time. It's time.
It's time. Yeah, exactly. Instead of just sitting there and not doing anything. That's a good way to put it. Monetize
your time. Yeah.
Yes. Very true. Very true.
So, yo.
Oh wow.
I know we can go on for hours. And again, this I'm just throwing this out. This whole thing right now is a test, and we're supposed to be here like 10, 15 minutes. we know this would never happen, right?
We haven't even started.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah,
this is true.
But I like the vibe and I like the conversation. So I
love
want
the studio.
Yeah.
This has got to be like 6-figure type.
No, word. No.
Chappelle? Yeah. Step the game up, bro. The studio.
Yo.
Man, oh man. Wait till you see it.
That's right. That's right. Shoot.
The wife has everything to do with it. So
Nice.
So, when you texted the picture, I was like, is that the basement? I'm trying to. So I'm thinking some work was done.
Right.
But I didn't recognize this area at that time. Yeah.
see, I couldn't do the basement because the basement don't have AC, right? So I'm like, I can't have my guests being uncomfortable.
I got
You know, plus moving all of this stuff down there, these chairs and all that. You know, I'm like, this is too much. You know, so I was like,
man. I like
I'm
this,
gonna
man.
do this.
Question, kind of like off topic, but it's about the equipment.
Yeah.
Couldn't all these equipment like fit in one carry-on luggage, one carry-on container, or whatever?
It can. So all of this stuff that you see has to go, right? I bought a carrying case for it. It's supposed to be coming probably tomorrow. So I'll be able to see what can fit in, what can't fit in there, and stuff like that. I don't want I really want to take the train because I want to get some time to myself and start plotting. You know me already.
Yes.
You know, I'm going to be, using my time. Okay, this is where Ook's going to be sitting. You know, Trevor's going to come on this side. You know, I need that time to be able to do that. And I think the train allows me. Outside of that, I didn't want to take the plane in the event they said, you got to check this. And I can't afford to do that.
Yeah, no, you don't want to run that risk.
I don't want to run that risk. It's not a hard case that I bought where, these things will sit in foam, because most of the time when you talk about professional studios, you're talking about someone that has a hard case with foam and stuff like that. Ook, your camera just went off, because the battery kind of went on it. So
it wasn't plugged in?
No, it's that camera over there.
Oh, okay.
So I would have to change the battery and stuff like that, but your voice is still coming through. So
okay, that's cool.
So,
you can pick your nose. But yeah, I see what you're saying. Another thing too is like what I'm just thinking ahead, kind of like, for example, when we were all in Buffalo.
Yeah.
You have the 2 cameras. I mean, the 3 cameras or whatever. What if I know all the boys are going to be there. Can there be like a studio audience situation? Like
it is possible, right?
Where you kind of point a mic.
I see what you're saying.
Somebody has some question or something to say.
Because one of the things is, Brother Chev is going to bring his microphones as well.
Okay.
So we're going to get some help there. So
I have a couple of microphones that I can bring on.
So yeah, whatever.
I have a mini one.
Whatever we can, we can get to bring. Whatever we can get to bring. We'll bring those.
I'll bring my
because I want to be able to capture everybody. I want to, the setting I'm looking for is to really have everybody, maybe not in a round table kind of thing, but a setup where we can actually have everyone, as I'm looking at this, and these are learning experiences, right?
Yes.
Trev's camera's in the wrong place, right?
Okay.
His cam needs to be here.
Okay.
Oh, so when I'm talking, I'm looking directly
or even to go that direction, right? Because when you're talking to Ook, it's catching your side, which is fine, right? Because again, this is us learning,
right?
And it's good that you're seeing it as we go.
Yeah.
But are you gonna post this?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I have to put it together though, because again, one of the things that the difference with this than what we do normally, right? Everything gets uploaded to the cloud, and then it puts it together for you already. This one, the video is going to be here, the audio is going to be there, and I got to put it together. I did one of them last night, just a quick test for a minute, and figure that part of it out.
You're able to edit, take things out, whatever.
You can, because again, it once it goes into the same system that we use for the conversations, right? You then go in there and you can chop it up you want. So it's an editing tool.
Yeah.
So we can do that. So
that's fine.
Yeah.
Maybe you can get 2 episodes out of this.
Yeah, she's real.
Yeah. So I mean, Luke was supposed to leave 5 minutes after he came, and
Hey, check this out.
I thought about it, and I'm like, you know what? And then I'm thinking, then why? Like, I just, my brain just kind of went mush because I'm thinking, why did he show the studio? Obviously, we need to be in the studio, so. But yeah, my fault. But I got here. I'm here.
I'm gonna tell you, man, Luke was chopping you up.
No worries. No, I said,
You know.
hey, remember what happened last time?
Was it being recorded?
You're supposed to be first.
And I missed Saturday because I was at my twin grandnieces. They turned 2.
Oh, nice.
Party.
Nice.
For them Saturday.
Oh, that's
Tyler
beautiful.
came through.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, that's nice, man. Oh, okay. Because you know what it was. Like, yo, where Trav at, man? Where Trav?
Yeah,
I dropped in for a minute.
Yeah.
And because I was out there building.
Yeah, I remember you saying.
I was like, and I came on, I was like, yo, I got a good hour. I gotta go. I'm tired. I gotta go to sleep.
Yeah.
But this setup is gonna allow us to do what we want to do in Buffalo. This also allows us, if we don't have internet or issues.
Oh yeah.
This does not require any internet at this moment. The other thing that we do typically requires an internet service.
Airbnbs usually.
They do, but in the event, I'm always, again, I have to have backup plans. Whenever time I'm doing something, I need a backup to the backup.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's just me. That's how I function.
Yeah, man.
So
another thing I would suggest, instead of the fern, maybe a coconut tree, a palm tree, or something.
Be careful, Miss Williams don't hear you.
We're in between.
So turn on that.
Or an ackee tree.
So turn on that.
Or a mango tree.
Or a mango tree, huh?
So there's a little switch on that thing. You see a little switch there? Turn that on. That's what I want to do. This thing here, but it's in the back.
Oh, here?
Yeah, so there's a cord. You'll see the switch on it. Turn it. Keep turning it. So that was me.
Oh, okay.
The better half of me said put the fern in. So so I got over.
It's a good idea with the fern, but
So what I'm saying is I have to borrow the space, so I had to give something.
It looks good.
I had to give something.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying.
I get it.
You want to use the space?
Yeah.
A fern is going in.
Got it.
So
it works.
It's called compromise.
I just don't want people to get confused between the fern. That's what it's called, right? That's what it's called.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Between the fern.
Between the fern.
But
this is conversation with Rad.
Yeah.
Conversation with Rad.
So
yes.
I was supposed to touch on a couple of different things we didn't, but again, I like the flow. I like the way we just just go, right?
Right.
And I'm good with that because I had specific things that I was going to touch on one of them with the sessions. I was going to jump on, where Trev went to Jamaica from the what do you call them now? I was going to say gully, but from the what's the term they use for the ghetto for the
the garrison.
From the garrison to the from the garrison to the countrysides.
Whoa, that's what they call it. So what's the garrison?
A garrison basically is just, I guess, a garrison is just another word for ghetto.
Ghetto. Yeah. It's really that. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was uptown also. I mean, I did it all. I experienced. You've been to Jamaica?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We stayed in
Ocho Rios.
Yeah, Rios. We went to father-in-law's family is in Boston Bay.
Oh, so,
okay.
So, yeah. Okay. So y'all did go out.
Yeah. That's what when you mentioned the roads. I was like, man, I remember that. Man, that narrow. I was like, yo, how did the cars go this joint? I was like, driving on the left. Oh man, it was an experience. It was beautiful.
Oh yeah.
It was beautiful, son. I mean, when I see them dudes got our fish. It was a place called the Bus. It was set up on the side of the ocean, man. We got our food. They had it in the foil, and the fish was beautiful. It was good. It was beautiful. What really got me was, and I guess I had forgotten, the freshness, having all that greenery, and it's tropical, of course. So the smell, the smell of the air, the water, it was amazing. The fact that I was able to do
so many different things. You know, you know, I got to really experience Jamaica, you know, once again as a whole.
As a whole.
And, you know, I definitely know where I want to retire.
I know. I've seen. I'm looking. Yeah, I've seen. Listen, I enjoy your posts, man. I'm like, man, look at this. Especially, I think. No, this is the one I like with the what is the lizard? Not a lizard. What is it called? It's not a lizard. It was on the little animal that was on the tree. You were there like. Oh, National Geographic.
Like, okay, yeah. It is a lizard. It's a Jamaican. It's a lizard.
Oh, okay.
What is it? There's a proper name for it. I think Anord or something like that.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that lizard came and basically hung out with me. And,
I was like,
you know,
the same
I
one.
fed him. You know,
like, yo, Trump. I'm like, I was like, oh, but it was interesting, man, just to see. You know what I mean? It's like, wow.
Yeah, nature.
Yeah,
nature.
Oh man.
You know. And that was it too. Just, you know, being able to just connect with nature. You know, walking around on the dirt, on the earth. You know, like just without slippers or shoes, just connecting with grass, and it felt like almost like a refreshing. You know what I mean? It's almost like sometimes when people say you need a break, come back. That's what it is.
That is so. All right, so we know we're going to retire. So we're looking for Trev. We know Trev.
Well, especially when it's cold here.
It's cold.
You know what I mean? I'll be on the beach. I'm on the beach.
Okay, gotcha. But no,
Well, it snowed here. Man, I've had enough of that. I went to school in Buffalo.
Oh, facts, right?
I've seen enough snow. True. I can watch it on TV. I'm good with that.
You're good with that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, man. I think, and I was mentioning to Rad about me and my two cousins. One's down south and one is in Buffalo. We conversate every Thursday, financial stuff every Thursday, and we were talking about how important it is to plan. And I don't like, just me. I don't like using retirement. You know what I mean? But I just say, I mean,
your next phase.
Your
next phase, because it truly ain't retirement.
Yeah, you know. So I'm like, and we talk about our parents. Mm-hmm. And like, man, what are people doing? What are they doing? Like, my mom can't stop moving. She literally has to keep moving. You know what I mean? Like, why are you working? She's retired, but she still wants to go out because she has to be busy. She needs to do something because
I want to do farming. Right. I want to farm. I want to be able to grow my food. And,
you know what you're talking about right now.
Food, and I have my food, and just go fishing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But they didn't. I speak with my mom. You know, she didn't plan like for that. Like, what I'm going to do when I'm done doing this work. What can I do? Well, I guess I got to keep working. You know what I mean? Because if you're not doing anything, you know what they say, once you stop moving around and you get a certain age and you just like,
that's it.
What a lot of older people do, which is good, is a lot of older people start going on trips, different places.
Yeah, and that's another point.
I guess if you will, knocking things off their bucket list.
That's another point. And to make sure you have the financial means
to be able
to, you know. So again, planning, like, oh, what do I want to do when I get? There was no, and I've seen this, you know. So, and even my cousins talking about their parents, like, you know, there's no talking about doing nothing afterwards.
Yeah.
Because when I was growing up, the vacation was we were back and forth. I was down south. That was it. We like, let's go get in the car.
It.
We driving down south. So that was it. We down south, and that was looking forward. That was like our vacation.
Exactly.
Like going down south, you know.
While others were going to Paris and Rome.
Yeah. He's like, jump in the car, 6 deep. But you didn't know any better. You know what I mean? It was cool. Your cousin's in the car. You're just having fun because you're a kid. You don't know. You don't know. I'm just going. No, I'm going. When I get down south, I get to play. You know
that's interesting that you say that too, because like I was telling my wife how, like, when I was a kid during the summer, you know, we used to go to where my father's from in St. Thomas, you know. And it seemed so far away on that darn bus. And now, and I go back there and I'm looking at it, I'm like, wait a minute. It's like right there. It's like from here to Brooklyn. You know, it could have been from like here to Buffalo, the way, how different it was from Kingston, where I was, to the countryside where my father was from. You know, it's like actually it felt like a different country, almost, like, you know.
That's fascinating.
But as a kid, you don't, everything just seems so vast. Everything just seems so
Right.
big.
That is,
You know, I went there and I'm thinking, I'm like, wait a minute, I got to Montego Bay in like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. You know, this place is small.
Wow. Oh,
You know,
goodness.
you could drive that whole country out, you know, from tip to tip in about 4 or 5 hours. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Especially now with the highways and all that.
Yes.
Byways. So
Yes.
it's cool.
That is. No, that's fascinating. How you know what I mean? When you're young and you see things differently. When you get older, you're able to reflect on like, man, it was such a.
Yeah.
Man.
There's a clock in Halfway Tree, and I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, that clock ain't that big. That clock was humongous to me as a kid. You know what I mean? Because that was like a meeting point for a lot of people. You know, the clock. You know, there's a clock. Yeah, famous
Meet
clock.
at the clock.
Yeah. I'm like, wait a minute. That's a cuckoo clock. You know, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, things just seem so much bigger to kids than it is when you were adult looking at it.
That is true, man. Wow, man. I'm telling you. That's what it is.
All right, fellas. So I know we had some issues with Ook's camera later, but this was really a good session, and I do appreciate you guys coming into the studio, the mock studio, you know, and chopping it up with me.
Yes,
you know,
indeed.
a conversation at Rad.
Conversation
We'll
with
keep
Rad.
these going on. You know, again, we're going to be on a bit of a hiatus, you know, for other, you know, episodes because again, brothers are kind of busy. It's summer. People are traveling, you know, and stuff like that. But we're all going to get together. We mentioned in the beginning of this that we're going to get together in October, and everyone will be there. And if you think this was fun,
Wait till October.
Oh my goodness.
we will not make a commercial for the Novas, but there will be a lot of that there. And what did you call it, Trev?
Well, I think it was Chevy that called it crack.
Crack.
You will think everyone is going to be on that.
Wow. That's
You know, so I look forward to all the
Yes.
brothers being up there,
Yes,
you know,
indeed.
coming together and, you know, just, you know, doing our thing, doing us.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
See y'all in October.
Yes, indeed. October.
See you in October.
Square.
That's right. Thank you, Rad. Thanks, Rad. Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
man.
This is nice.
You know, thank you.